It'll start with career conversations. And one time I talked to a guy for an hour, and by the end, he was like, "Thank you for saving my marriage." And I was like, this is it. People confuse it and think that jobs are just jobs, and they think that they're in a job search because they get laid off. And you're not actually in a job search. You're here to restore your life.
Wait, hold on. I'm doing it. This is a Golden Mic episode, y'all. Woo!
You know, party like a who you know party, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of the Who You Know Show podcast, where what you know is important, but who you know can make all the difference in your business, career, relationships, and life. My name is Trevor Houston, and on this show, you'll learn the strategy, grit, and mindset it takes to overcome obstacles so you can level up in your career, recover your cash flow, and live the life of purpose that God intended for you. Don't forget to look at the mic drop moments time-stamped in the show notes below. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to pay it forward, subscribe, and leave an honest review so we can improve. Thanks for listening. My name is Trevor Houston, and please enjoy this episode of the Who You Know Show.
Niki, we're excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Tell us about your story, the behind the scenes of how you have moved your way to the big book of face.
The book of faces. I think we know that recruiters fall into recruiting. I don't think that anyone really chooses to go to school. Like, I'm going to find jobs for other people one day. Like, we don't actually do that. So I fell into recruiting with nonprofits, and I had a really cool job traveling the world with international exchange students for 7 years, recruiting them to come over here for work programs. And then that led to agency recruiting. I moved to New York and wanted like a more normal, less travel life, and agency recruiting. And then that led to Facebook. So it was ed tech recruiting within the agency world that led to Facebook.
Where did you move to New York from?
Philly.
Philly. Are you an Eagles fan?
I'm not very much into sports myself, but my family is all Eagles all day.
Oh, man.
So you got the passion. You're out there. You're going above and beyond just the recruiter responsibilities. And now you're doing some, we said you're a recruiter by day and a coach by night.
Right.
Right. So talk to me about that. Like, what led you to do that?
I think with coaches too, you fall into that. You don't realize that you're doing it so organically. So I was at the agency and I'd find myself talking to candidates for an extra hour about just next level preparation tips or about their personal life and their husbands and all this other stuff that I'm like, wait a minute. And my boss would walk by and I'm kind of like whispering because I'm like, I don't want them to see or hear that I'm like talking about all this non-work related stuff. So it dawned on me that, and I would even wake up on the weekends. I remember it hit me on a Saturday morning. I woke up and I was thinking about a candidate at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I just could not stop thinking about her and her story and her transition and everything. And I was like, this is not just recruiting. This isn't just placements. Like, I really want to help these people with their lives. So then I got to Facebook and put my head down and really just did the Facebook thing. But it came back like it always does if it's your calling. And and then my mom passed away suddenly a couple of years ago, and that really sparked. Thank you. That was sparked a spiritual awakening for me. And also, she had hit a rock bottom and had a pill addiction and lots of other things as a result of many years of suppressing trauma and not working on herself from a mindset perspective. So it just hit me in the face too and said, if you don't do this work, you could be really put together in your 30s and 40s and unravel in your 50s and 60s.
Wow.
So it just fell on my heart. And I was like, I can't sleep knowing that there's so many families that are destroyed by things that are really solvable, especially with the job search, because my mom was unemployed. And then she became really like unemployable really through that whole process. So that's really what it is. It's helping women. And then now it's helping men as well to really take their power back.
Ooh, there's some power for you right there. Mic drop.
A lot of people are feeling powerless, and it's really sad. There's a lot of resources, which is amazing, but it really comes down to you. It comes down to you to take that. I call it certifying yourself. You know how it is to get a certification if you are doing like some kind of like HR certification or something. It's like we go to these external places to say, oh, I'm an expert in this or that, and I got the certification that speaks to it. Now I feel like an expert externally. But what I help my clients with is certifying yourself, certifying your soul to say, I am divinely amazing without anything external.
That's right.
Taking back your power is the biggest piece right now for all these COVID job seekers.
That's another one. Hit
Yeah.
her with it. Woo!
Yeah.
Mic drop.
What
Give my
kind
mic
of
back.
responses are you getting as far as like the extra time, the extra mile that you're going, like the impact that you're making? Like, what are some of the people telling you, like feedback that you're getting from that? How valuable has that been to them?
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing.
Impact.
You've really tried to take, yourself out of it too, because like we've talked about, like this is God's work. But the feedback has been really like, it'll start with career conversations. And one time I talked to a guy for an hour, and by the end he was like, "Thank you for saving my marriage."
Oh.
And I was like, this is it. This is why we do what we do. It's why we help people. And
Exactly.
people confuse it and think that jobs are just jobs. And they think that they're in a job search because they get laid off. And you're not actually in a job search. You're here to restore your life.
You're not in just a job search. You're there to restore your life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait,
And
hold
that's-
on. I'm doing it.
No party like a who you know party, baby.
This is a Golden Mic episode, y'all. Woo! That is awesome.
All right. Yeah.
You're
that's-
bringing the passion, which I love
you.
that.
That's great.
And
That's what it's about, Nikki. Yes, that's what that's what it's about.
That's what it's all about. Okay. All right. So you do some free coaching. It's on Mondays at 7 p.m. Tell me about that. How do I find it? How do I get to it? Because I got to come see what that's
Yes.
all about.
You should come. You should be a guest on my Zoom.
I'm
It's
in.
on
Let's
Zoom
go.
Yeah.
every Monday night, 7:00 Eastern time. And it's beautiful. We have people signing in from all over. This one kid, I call him a kid. He's like 20. He comes in from Germany at 3 a.m. to make
Yeah.
it. And people are just all over the place. And we have a hot topic. And it's mindset. And it's mindset for the job seeker. And I did this whole like Know Yourself series in November that was about love languages, your attachment style, and all these other things that are not related to jobs in theory, but actually
In
very much
theory,
are
yeah,
related
yeah,
to
yeah.
how you're showing up for your job search.
Right.
So we have a new topic every week, and it's a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
Tell me about your unique coaching styles, because I heard about one of them. It's like you mentioned talking about dating stories.
oh yeah,
What?
Here we
Oh.
go.
New York is just it's a good time for dating. It's just it's an interesting place to be. There's a lot about job searching and interviewing and the whole process, matchmaking, that is very much like dating. And I love keeping it really real with my people and letting them know. On today's episode, I swear one day I'll have my own like dating and reality show. Just bringing the analogies of it's so
Mhm.
similar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I believe so much of what is wrong with the current job search climate is that people have it backwards, where there's this like I
Mm.
call it the 80-20 rule with
They're
80
trying to close the deal real fast.
Exactly. Well, there's
Yep.
that piece, but then there's
They go
also
in,
young-
they're like, hey,
Nikki says, "Oh,
That-
you know.
job seekers do think that they're entitled to seal the deal like right away. And it's first of all, the company doesn't know you from a can of paint. Like
Yeah.
you do have to show who you are and prove that you are.
Take me to dinner first.
Exactly.
Yeah. Buy me a drink.
But then there's the
Yeah.
80-20 is 80% of people are doing like 80% like resume stuff, LinkedIn, applying, and then 20% they're like resetting their energy and all and getting aligned and meditating or whatever. And I think it's flipped. It should be 80% energy work, prayer, meditation, figuring out who you are, doing all that deep mindset work, which is why the holidays are a great time for that, because slow down and have fun with your family and take the foot off the gas and raise your vibration and make sure and feel the vibes get better. And
Get
then
them
the
vibrations up there, y'all."
The good vibration.
And then
Yeah.
the 20 is like the mechanic.
20 is the tactics. It's all
Yep,
the like
yep.
actual networking and sitting down to. And when you feel good, people feel that energy
Yeah, they
through
do.
the computer. If
Oh,
you're sending
yeah.
messages to
Yeah.
network and you're doing it from a low vibe place that's stressed
Mhm.
out, they're going to feel that. Recruiters feel it when people are
Yes,
desperate.
we do.
Just like with dating, you don't want to go out with somebody who's super desperate.
Yeah, I
know.
use that analogy all the time. Like when we talk about the informational interviews or like getting somebody engaged, and it's like dating. And I say like when you go out on that first day, let's say it's a blind date, you wouldn't just sit down and just like blah. Hey, I'm Mark. I've been married like 4 times. I've got $80,000 in debt
Exactly.
and 5 children. Like
You
Comes
would
back
do.
to taking back your power though, and to certifying yourself and knowing like what value you bring to the table, like who you are and why you're awesome from a confident energy, not from a desperate energy. Of,
100%.
I need that.
So I have
Yeah.
something called the $10 million mindset. Okay, $10 million mindset. And this is, there's something powerful about visualization. So if you close your eyes and you really, really, really think about it and you say, okay, what would change about my job search if I had $10 million in the bank and I was going to work because I wanted to, not because I have to? And so what would change about it? How different would your questions be in your interview? Would you care if they said no? Or would you just be like, forget them, I'm on to the next because I got $10 million in the bank and I don't care. It doesn't matter if they weren't seeing my worth, because I'm worth $10 million, right?
Right. I like that.
Does that make sense? Like your attitude would change, the way that you approach it, your questions, what you were seeking, what you wanted to bring into your life would be completely different if you had $10 million in the bank.
Can I throw out another visualization on the flip side of that?
Yep.
And this is where I go with the mindset work, and people hate me at first, but it gets better on the other side.
I like it already.
So imagine if you woke up tomorrow and you're on the street and you have no house and you have nothing in your bank account. It may be less than like $1,000 of debt and nothing, no clothes even. Would you feel worthy of love? Would you feel worthy of the job or whatever if you were literally with
You had nothing.
to your name and just nothing? Because people are attaching so much of the external stuff to their own worthiness.
So the stuff.
And if you don't feel worthy, you're not going to manifest and attract the dream job, the dream guy, anything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to have that inner worthiness already.
Wow, that's powerful.
Awesome.
This
That is. Yeah, that's a whole different way of thinking about it. I
Yeah,
agree
that's
with-
the flip of what I was
That
talking
is-
about.
that's
She's like, rip it all away.
Take it away.
Yep.
I'm like, give me $10 million. She's like, no, let me take it all away.
Well, like you said, I mean, realizing your inner power or whatever, like the power that you have, that is inside. You
You're
just have
already
to.
worthy of the millions and millions of dollars,
Absolutely.
even with nothing.
Yep,
Nothing
no clothes on your
external.
back.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Especially then.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been stripped of my high salary. I've been down there pretty close.
Okay, you also have a course you're launching soon. Talk to
Yes.
me about your course. And is this going to be a dating course, or what are we doing here with this course?
Hey,
Coaching
one
going-
day we're going to go into that arena. But it's called the Job Salon, and it's a mindset
Right
makeover
on.
for
Okay.
career transformations.
Nice.
And honestly, I'm just at the point where I want this to be digital because there's so many people I want to help that there's not enough hours in the day. So this course is launching, and it's basically taking you through several master classes, such as the mindset stuff. I have one thing called Become Unghostable, because that's the thing with dating,
Yeah,
and it's a
love
thing
it.
with the job search, getting ghosted by recruiters.
Oh,
How
yeah.
to become unghostable. There's the strategy for that.
I want to know it.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll send you
okay.
the link.
I'll send you the link.
There's how to interview like a boss. Every
leave it to
December, I
Dirty
do a fundraiser for charity water
Okay.
because I believe water is life, and I'm
Water
obsessed.
fundraiser for charity water.
Charity water, yeah.
Oh, charity water. Okay.
They bring clean drinking water to folks around the world.
Gotcha,
That
nice.
Okay.
1 in 10 people still don't have access to clean drinking water.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah, so they're
That's
an
true.
amazing organization. Proceeds from this course will go to that in December.
Okay. That's awesome. Do
that's
they
what
help
we-
people with wells?
It's wells, yeah. They
Wells,
do a
that's
lot of
awesome.
different well projects. Yeah, they've been around for about 10 years.
Giving back, paying it forward.
What is the biggest job seeker mistake going on, or tip? What's your biggest, either the biggest tip you got for them, or like biggest mistake you see they're doing right now? What is it?
I think that there's two things that come to mind. Obviously, the one is about mindset work, not doing the work on yourself first before you dive right in. And with that, I think a lot of people feel very alone. And the reality is that you are not alone. Everyone's going through the same thing. And people feel like they're being productive because they're doing all the webinars and they're watching these shows and doing all the master classes and all the things, but they're still doing it in an insular kind of solitary way
Yeah.
at home. So I would encourage job seekers to find a tribe. And this is why group coaching programs are great, because you can then get linked up with other people. But find a tribe, or even if it's an accountability group of 2 or 3 other people that are unemployed, that way you are not feeling alone. Like I start every morning of my life with my group chats with my girlfriends. I call them like my soul sisters all over the world. And we hype each other up every morning. And this is just very organic that it happens. I'm not in a job search, but I could imagine if I were, I would really lean on that. But it just puts me in a good mood for the day. And sharing resources, sharing different tips, and you just don't feel as alone. And then-
Small groups.
Yep.
and small groups, 2 or 3 people that you can really stay accountable to. And then the other one is, and then of course we know too, you're not alone. God is always with you.
Woo!
Someone messaged me. This guy was like, "Thank you for reminding me that God is in my job search." I didn't say it like that so bluntly, but it's true. We are not alone. So I think just finding something that you can anchor to is really important, whether it's your faith or the gym or whatever that is. You just need something to keep you
Yeah.
grounded. And then the other one real quick is on fear. In many ways, we know fear is a liar, but I've actually really embraced in my own self-help journey lately, the last couple months. And I'm also a big fan of a lot of inner child work, like going back to your childhood and really unpacking stuff to figure out why you do what you do and all that. And with that, I started looking at a lot of fear, times I was afraid as a kid and stuff. And now when I think about it, I'm like, whoa, fear is not a liar all the time. It's actually an indicator. It's like a thermostat in your body. You feel it when you feel that fear coming up. Fear can be your best friend, and it can be your teacher. So with a lot of stuff, people are so afraid to interview. They're so afraid to network. If you're genuinely so afraid to send a networking message to someone on the other side of the computer, it's like, why? Ask why. You really want to get behind that, like why several times, and then you'll get to the truth somewhere, because so many people are like really afraid of doing like seemingly normal things, and it's deep rooted somewhere else. It's never on the surface. So look at the fear, feel the fear, and really start asking why you feel it. And then this is how you're going to grow.
Love it, man. Woo! Okay. So you talk about the fears is your thermostat?
Yeah.
Yep.
I say fear is your spidey sense.
It is, yeah.
Okay. The Spider-Man, he had the spidey sense going on,
Wow, Spike.
but he didn't run away. That's what he leaned in, because the enemy wants to keep you safe, wants to keep you secluded, wants to isolate you, wants to bring you away from people so he can attack you all on his own, keeps
Right.
you all alone. But if you can get out of your comfort zone, understand that he's just lying to you, teaching you, saying in your ear, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're not going to make it, you're going to run out of money, whatever it is that you're telling yourself, you've got to understand that there's growth on the other side of that. And that's just a lie, like you were saying, and lean in. So I love what you're saying. I totally align with that. That's powerful.
I got a quick question. Newest thing that you're seeing, like, or your outlook for 2021. What do you think in the job market?
I think that so much that's been revealed is not going to go anywhere now. Like, people are seeing that reinvention is the new normal. So you might start something for 2021, and don't be surprised if you're starting something new in 2024. And I think people need to get to a space of being okay with that, because the shift is here. The remote shift is definitely here to stay. So we see more remote jobs popping up, which is great for job seekers. I think there's going to be more flexibility and so many more opportunities. But I think the biggest thing is the market's bouncing back. It will continue to bounce back, I think, on the job front. Be okay with change. Like, reinvention will be your superpower. As soon as you can, like my mom, when she was a poker dealer for 20 plus years.
Oh, well,
And
crazy.
that's one very specific skill set.
Yeah.
Unless you're willing to really, truly adopt it. This comes into the mindset work. You have to adopt a new identity. When you, like, that old identity as poker dealer has to die in order for a new identity to come in a new job. And you have to just be willing to do that. And I think success in most cases is a decision. You have to decide to do it. It's just like deciding to lose 20 pounds or deciding to quit smoking or whatever. It's just a quick decision. So I think for 2021, there is no blanket trend. It's people just need to, again, take that like sovereign power back and say, I'm deciding that I'm going to figure things out, and I'm going to go with the change and go with the flow.
Flexibility,
Man,
Flexibility.
adaptability.
That's another one. Are you doing from the office, or are you remote?
We're remote.
You're remote? Okay. Yeah. I think that's the way all the companies are going now. It's crazy. They're getting rid of all the office space. So,
We'll be back next summer, midsummer, they're saying 2021. But
yeah, it's crazy, but we'll see what happens to all these big old buildings. They're going to turn into apartment complexes or something.
change is the only constant.
That's
That
it.
is a constant, isn't it?
Can I
Oh.
shout out my website for the course and such?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
NikiWoodall.com/Job Salon to get on the wait list. Job Salon. And then I also have other free stuff on my website, like meditations and a high vibe music playlist for job seekers called the Job Seeker Journey.
Wait,
So they
say
can get
what?
Put up.
playlist?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Music is another one. Like, music is a healer. I'm a big fan of all kinds of music, and it like keeps me sane.
There you go.
Meditation and good music. It's keep it simple.
Hey, speaking of music, we're now on Pandora. Right?
Nice.
So go ahead and go to Pandora and put us on your playlist. And then also go check out Covenant Worship Music on Pandora. Go check that station out. I'm going to tell you what. Put that on in the morning and get inspiration going. It's high energy.
Thanks for listening to the Who You Know Show podcast. My name is Trevor Houston, and if you've enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing wherever you listen and leave us a positive review to help us keep the mics on in the studio. Until next week, that's the show. It's all about who you know.